Alright, hello. So I recently got into world building and making languages, like written languages for my fictional countries. I'm pretty sure it's the right word, fictional. Anyways, and I just wanted to show you how I made my written languages. So to make your life easier, if you're making one, you should make this chart or a chart similar that has the letters A through Z, all of those. So when you make a symbol, like let's say that was my symbol for A, I would have a chart to tell me that's A and I wouldn't forget that. So once you got your chart made, basically just on a blank sheet of paper or a separate thing or whatever, just start making random doodles. And once you find something you like, so like let's say I like that, and I think, oh, that would make a perfect scribble for the letter S, I would just recreate that to the very best of my ability where the S is. And I do that over and over for all the letters and the numbers 1 through 9 and 0. And I do that over and over until I got a full alphabet. But then there's something else you can do. Like let's take this let's take the letter O, because that's the one I have the example on standby for, and I had to write something like food or food, and it requires a double O, right? Now let's say I didn't like the way the double O looks, then I could create a unique letter that is specifically for the double O that I like. So there you go. You can do that, and that would be more useful for things like ing or double letters like that. But yeah, basically all you gotta do is make a chart, scribble symbols until you find a bunch you like, and just decide what symbols are what letters. It's really that easy. You don't really have to. You don't have to think about it that much unless you're like really into it, and if you're like really keen on details, and all you gotta consider is like what materials do they have access to. Are they writing with a ink and feather on paper, or are they using a stick to carve letters into beeswax like the Greeks did? Because that's going to affect like how your letters look. Because like on paper or with pen, like if I were to write coat or something like that, like it's going to be all curvy because I'm writing in ink. But let's say I took this very hyper realistic wax tablet and tried to write the same thing. If you have never written on wax, which I would assume you haven't, wax tends to be more difficult to write in. That's totally the right letter. But it's easier to do like jagged edges than round bits, because that's just how wax be. So like the material that you're writing in, that your characters in your fantasy world have access to, affects like how they write and how their letters would look. Because in a wax, like let's take this for an let's take this for an example. It's going to be much easier in a wax tablet to do something like that than to do that, because again, that's just how wax be. But for paper, it's going to be much easier and quicker to do that than to go like that. And there you go. So one last time, long story short, basically you're just scribbling random symbols till you find the ones you like and decide what letters they are. And if the only extra step you gotta do, if you're really keen on detail, is what materials they have access to. And I guess the time period, but that's for you to decide. Anyways, I hope this helped. And I'm gonna just end this video.